voice of the continent. Turn it up, turn it up. African sports guy, he's on the ball. African sports guy, he stands so tall. From the pitch to the court, he's got the vibe. African sports guy, keeping it alive. African sports guy, he's on the ball. African sports guy, he stands so tall.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody going? Welcome to African Sports Guy, where we bring an African perspective on sports and everything that is going on in the world of sports and everything else. I got my brother Jono. Johnny, how are you doing, Johnny?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, man.
Then I got my other brother Fari.
How's it?
My Buku, representing my Buku there. Representing my Buku, my baby.
Buku.
Yeah. So I was going.
You don't know how many people. You don't know how many people ask me, "What is that? Oh wow, where is it? I think I've seen that before." I'm just you've seen it before.
How do they pronounce it? That's what I'm going to do.
They don't. They say, "How do you
that's
say
what
that?"
That's what I.
And I say,
Then how do you say it?
And they're like, "Oh wow, is there a story behind that?"
Hey, you be like my Buku, my Babuku, my Babuku.
They don't even try, don't worry. They just say, "Oh, I love the cap. This other guy came and said, can I take a picture? Can I take a picture of that? It's so cool, man. It's so cool."
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's difficult to pronounce, but it is a cool cap. Where did you get it though? Actually, where did you get it?
Airport, Zimbabwe, Harare Airport. When I was coming back, the thing about Scotland FC, their marketing department is on point. They're in tune with the youngsters. They've got it something because it's the only cap that was at the airport. They had a whole store, Yabo, of Scotland FC. So they had this cap, they had other caps, and I was like, these guys are marketing wise, don't sleep on Scotland.
I really should.
I'm still a Dynamos fan. But I mean, when you get swag like this, Shamare,
that's so boring.
If I get a Dimbari one, if they want to send it to me, I'll take it. I'm just saying.
You say you support Dynamos, right? Dimbari is like a South African thing that support Kaizer Chiefs. It's just one of those things, but like everybody supports Kaizer Chiefs, everybody supports Dynamos. It's boring. Like a Scottish guy going, I support Celtic.
My dad likes Caps United, so that he's an OG, green and white.
Good man, that's my team. Caps United.
Caps
green and white, Baba.
Haven't been relevant for very, very long, but it's an OG club. I'll give you that.
But do you actually follow local soccer? That statement of yours, you said with so much confidence, guys, in that.
For as long as I grew up, Kumba, when I was going at home. Oh yeah. For as long as I was growing up, Caps was always we'd go to these Caps games with my brother, and I'd be like, Baba, what about Dynamos? She's like, no, Fadi, you gotta, support your team. So there's Caps versus Dynamos. The way Dynamos was winning, now that was the era. Since then, the south of the country has come up. I need Highlanders, Amazulu. So they're real teams that are competing from the south. So it's no longer just northern. Platinum. So there's
where I am at.
Chicken in FC. Hey, you know what? If you got the players, no, I'm not hating.
Guys, I know absolutely nothing about local football. I don't know absolutely nothing, but I'm not actually up to date. I should actually look it up, bro. Let's see the Zimbabwean Premier League. Are they playing at the moment?
We should be angling for an in-score
sponsorship. I did it.
Yeah, so we should be like chicken.
This space is available. You see this right here? Space here, Panaba. You can put any logo you want right here. Just put it in there. Put it in here. Put it above Jonah, above Simba. We're ready, guys. I'm leaving lots of room for you.
I'll give you Caps United is number 1 at the moment. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, buddy.
Wow.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it. It's Caps United 1. Hard Rock number 2. I don't know who Hard Rock is. Ngezi Platinum, as I said before. Ngezi is the area where I live. So that's and then Scotland FC is number 4, right? But it's all tight because Caps United has got 26, Hard Rock 24, Ngezi 22, Scotland 21. So it's all
How far into the season?
Dynamos is number 7. Highlanders is number 10. That's shocking. That's shocking.
Wow.
The Highlanders is always up there.
Hey, Caps is Makepe. Good for them. Makepe.
Oh man. So in this episode, guys, we're going to be talking about the appointments of managers, right? We're going to be focusing on Manchester United and Real Madrid, but we'll touch on Chelsea a little bit, right? And then we were going to go into golf because we had 2 experts. We were expecting 2 golf experts, but we'll see how it goes. But if you haven't heard, Michael Carrick has basically taken the job as the new manager of Manchester United. Some are happy, some are not. And then Jose Mourinho is basically lined up as the next manager for Real Madrid, which is just shocking news to all of us. But hey, maybe some Madrid fans can tell us what they think. And then finally, Chelsea have lined up Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso apparently is going to be the coach for Chelsea. So Liverpool right now, as we speak, are being thrashed by Aston Villa. Aston Villa are thrashing Liverpool at 4-2 now. The score is 4-2, right?
Wow.
And the game's almost over, right? Goals by Morgan Rogers. Oli Watkins has scored 2. John McGinn has scored another one. And then Van Dijk sort of kept off this sort of like force comeback, right? So it's 4-2 at the moment to Aston Villa. Now, that's a shock to nobody. As you know, last week, Farisai said, me and Fari were talking about the match between Chelsea and Liverpool and how Chelsea are mboch, which is a new word that we learned on African Sports Guy. Mboch, these are very, very poor, right? And so we say that Chelsea are very mboch, and so Liverpool are worse than mboch, right? Worse than trash, right? And so this game, it just proved it again because Aston Villa have been falling over themselves to lose games, and they still were able to beat Liverpool. So I don't know, man. From a Manchester United perspective, I'm really, really happy that Liverpool are keeping slot. But Farisai, what are your thoughts, man? What do you think? What do you think is happening?
I mean,
Liverpool?
I watched a good portion of the game that's happening now. First of all, Van Dijk is probably playing on the wrong part of the field. Had he been defending more so than scoring, it might have been more in their favor. But clearly, I don't know. He's getting ready for World Cup. I don't know what's going on. It was uninspiring by Liverpool. You had mentioned, like, instead of, the subs that he was making, he's playing it safe. And I think it's a terrible time to play it safe because, Aston Villa now could possibly guarantee now that they're going to be in the Champions League football.
Regardless of the result, yeah. Yeah,
so
regardless whether they win or not, yeah.
Liverpool, I think Bournemouth still has a chance, right, to catch them. Things as they stand. So I mean, if I'm Liverpool and I'm Liverpool fans, I'm doing one of two things. I'm either saying the club days are done for good, and like just go into the doldrums, or I'm very upset that we're giving this guy another season of Premier League coaching football, and he doesn't seem like he's trying at the end. He seems like Salah's gonna go out with a hot a balloon that's just popped. You know what I mean? Like, that's not how you want to go out, right? Look at Manchester City. Their guys going Silva, Stone. Yeah, they're not going to win the title, but they're winning. They could win
they're playing very
FA
well.
Cup on the weekend.
Cup,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's how you want to go out on a squad, on a team. You know what I mean? Playing some good football, showing what you can, like really sending it off. We talked about this. When did we talk about this? Salah and him being one of the best African footballers in the league, maybe top 5, top 10 of all time, right?
But you was agreeing with that.
I wasn't agreeing with that, but even if I don't agree with it, I don't think he's top 3 Liverpool. But even if I don't agree with it, the reality
could I say something controversial?
Please do.
Because like if you actually think about Salah's career, right? Salah has had the privilege of playing with Mane, right? And when they were playing together, Salah was lethal because both defenders, teams had to defend against Mane and Salah. And then we saw that the season when Mane left, right, Salah's performance kind of dropped a little bit, right? And then when Diaz came, right? Salah again performed better, right?
Mhm.
And now when Diaz has gone to Bayern Munich, Salah now has probably the worst season ever. So is Salah a player who plays well when most teams are not focusing on him, right? When you have other players around him, will he actually be a player who can carry a team to win a league by himself, a franchise player?
So let's look back to two
What an
players.
observation! I didn't notice that. I didn't notice
No,
that.
I said that.
Wow.
I said that. I said that last week. I said
You didn't say that in Diaz and Mane, but
not that. I did
but
say,
it
I did say the Diaz
give the
part.
youngster credit, bro. Yeah,
I did not say the Diaz part, but I did mention that Salah was something with Mane. I was saying because we're talking
you
about
did say
African
that, yeah.
footballers, right? Now,
Yeah.
I think it's a great observation. Now, let's harken back to your team's heyday when you had
Mhm.
Dwight York and Andy Cole.
And Nicole, yes.
I guess the question becomes, would either of those guys, before Dwight York came, was Andy Cole, or did he become Andy Cole once Dwight York came? And does that take away from his performance as a striker? Because that's what I feel like it's like, right? He needs a partner up top. He needs 1-2. They need the yin and the yang. And when Salah and Mane had that, Diaz, like that's what Jonah's talking about. You could see there was synergy. And to me, that reminds me of the Dwight York, Andy Cole days. To me, they're synonymous, right? I don't think of
I think
Andy Cole without Dwight York.
I think
Andy Cole was a great player, right?
I think Andy Cole was great before Dwight York came, right? But I think Dwight York became great with Andy Cole, right? But however, you are absolutely correct in your observation that Andy Cole went to another level, right? Because people forget, like, he was scoring goals for fun at Newcastle, Andy Cole, like for fun, right? I mean, for fun, he was banging goals. And I don't know if you remember, Jared, this is before your time, but I remember we used to get on ZBC, we used to get those top 10 goals of the like top English, yeah. And Andy Cole was on those all the time. He was scoring bangers at Newcastle before Alan Shearer came. So he was a great striker before he even came to Manchester United, right? And then when he came to Manchester United, he was, you're still on that level, right? So he was still a great striker when before Dwight York came. In fact, when Dwight York came, people were confused, right? Like, why would Ferguson buy another striker? Because Andy Cole was banging, was doing great stuff. But you have to admit that when they started playing together, even Andy Cole went to another level, right? So that's sort of legendary status. You know what I'm saying? He was just very good, but you're absolutely right that he went to the other level where, like, now he's on the sort of like echelon with like Thierry Henry and Alan Shearer, and then like he's on that level now, right? And Dwight York though was a promising guy before he came to Manchester United, and then when he went to Manchester United, he elevated again. So I think you are right in the sense that I think you can say that about a lot of players. I think to your point, Faisal, that it's very difficult, right? When you're the sole player and the defense is just like focused on you alone, right? But if you have a yin to your yang, is what Faisal and I was saying, like you have a yin to your yang, then of course you have to worry about the other player, so that it does become, so I do understand that point. And to Jonathan's point as well, I think that you're right that in the sense that if I'm a defense and I just load the right, so because Salah plays on the Liverpool right side, right? The left side of the opposition, but the right side of the Liverpool. So if I'm the opposition and I load the left side, then I can neutralize Salah, right? I can kind of neutralize Salah. But if you've got Mane or Diaz on the other side, then the midfielders can't just float across that one side. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like if you look at Lamine Yamal and Rafinha, same kind of thing, right? When both of them are playing, it becomes a real danger for teams because most teams are like, I want to concentrate on Lamine Yamal, and then so Rafinha then goes and he dominates the games, a lot of the games, right? Because people are just like, we have to stop Lamine Yamal from scoring. I remember there's a game, even a basketball game. I remember when this is before your time again, Jonathan. I remember when Steph Curry was still at Davidson. I don't know. And then I remember like he was just scoring like 60-0, just dropping 60-0 on everybody, right? And then there was one coach who was like, look, today we're just gonna mark Steph Curry. And so he marked Steph Curry, right? And they restricted Steph Curry like to 3 points or something, right? But then the team lost like 80-0 or something. But they stopped Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying?
Man, Davidson, man. That team,
Davidson, yeah.
I don't think he'll have a bigger star than.
Where is Davidson actually? Where is it?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't. I only know of it because of Steph Curry, but I never
I,
heard
so
of it.
I was a Steph Curry fan when he was at Davidson because I remember one time I was one of my late nights and then I was just on ESPN and then I just saw him playing. I was like, that's my cup of tea, right? And so I was supporting him from then, right? Because I knew he was going to be a great player. But in the draft, I think he was like 14th or 16th, something like that. It wasn't like a high pick, right? So I was a bit disappointed. And of course, at that time, I was supporting the Lakers. So I wanted him to go to the Lakers, but he didn't. And everybody just stay up and just watch his games. I mean, he was awesome, man. That guy was just always very awesome.
I mean, that was also
very,
before threes were like, I think he and a lot of guys changed the game, making threes a viable, you know.
He changed him.
JJ Redick was they doing it in college, and then he came and he was supposed to do it in the NBA. But I think Steph Curry and his partner out there made it.
No, look.
Made the league.
Everybody scored. It's like remember that the Dill scoop in cricket, the Dill scoop.
Yeah.
You know the shot where the guy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Doug Morelia did it first. The Zimbabwean batsman did it first.
Right? Yeah.
But he did it, there and there. Telekanatni Dilshan actually did it like regularly and more efficiently. And so the shot was named after him, right? So yes, there were people, Reggie Miller was a good 3-point shooter, right? He had the record before Steph Curry beat it. JJ Redick, other players who were like specialist three guys, but they went like, when you're like 50%, it's now yours. You know what I'm saying? It's now, Steph Curry changed the game. You really did change the game, right? And I think another thing that he did was like Steph Curry was he's a reasonable size. I mean, he's still 6'2", 6'3", right? Which outside of America is like huge. But in America, that's like average. So for the average, I think a person like 6'2" is a gettable height. It's something that's reasonable. And so he was like the player that like everybody thought, okay, I can be like Steph Curry, like if I really just practice my threes.
That guy's got a skill, man.
Men are delusional when it comes to sport, bro. I'm telling you, man. There's this comedian I was watching the other day, and he was like, he's like, I said, I turned 40. Jonathan, you will realize this. I think Jonathan still thinks he can play in the Premiership. But he's like, I just turned 40, right? And one of the things that hit me when I turned 40 was that I realized that I can't play in the NBA anymore. And if we're honest with each other, there's a low-key funny. Don't you think you could play for Zim? Like, if I really tried, I could play Zim cricket.
It was there in my 30s, and then I tore my Achilles. And my buddy was like, no, sir. No way, Baba. My mind thought different. My buddy was like, my guy, you're done.
What about you're still 30.
There's that point like when you're watching, especially the Premier League, when then you notice that like a lot of the players are younger than you. I think that moment when you realize like, yo, this guy was born in 2000 what?
That's been our existence for years. You're young, somewhere. We've been like that for years. We've been like that for 10, 15 years. That's how long it's been.
Like when you see it, because like you see all these guys and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm like just a little bit younger than Salah, or I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Just saying those statements, you're like, oh my gosh, how old am I?
Bro, the ones who get you is when you see LeBron playing at 41. That's the one where you're like, this guy is
what am I doing with my life, bro?
Not in that, but like, how is he able to get back on the court?
But what is worse though? What is worse, LeBron playing at 41 or Yamal playing at 18, playing for Spain and winning, European championships and stuff like that?
The thing is, when you're young and you start, like, look at Michael Owen. Remember Michael Owen, right? He had such potential, and then, like, if Lamine Yamal plays as long as Messi, right, and he breaks all those records, because we're on the tail end of LeBron's career, and you look at the stats, and it's ridiculous. He's been playing for 23 seasons, 23, 24 seasons, something ridiculous. I mean, the amount of time, the way the world has changed from when he started to now is insane. Lamine Yamal, if Lamine Yamal could play for 23 years, he'd be how old? I don't know how old he'd be. 30?
He'd be 20, he'd be 40.
Probably 40, yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of football.
23 plus 17. Yes.
All right.
Yes. So just say probably.
That would be a lot of football for a man who's already playing a lot. I don't know if these kids can last as long as they used to. With the amount of football they play, between the league games, between the multiple tournaments in the country, between playing in Champions League, I don't see these kids playing until they're 40. It'll be amazing,
Well,
but I don't see it.
Yeah, no, I think seasons like players are actually increasing their longevity, I think. Because if you see, I mean, look at Ronaldo, look at Messi, look at people. You might not be playing at, like, especially for football, you might not be playing at the Premier League or something, but you'll be playing like maybe MLS or Saudi League or
Yeah, but
the Korean League or shit. You might
I
be
think
playing
we're
yeah,
at a
guys,
something.
but
level.
guys, is MLS or Saudi League really boring, guys? It's not really a good level, right? So for me, I don't count that. I don't count it at all. So for me, like when I see someone like Lionel Messi, right? Lionel Messi started playing when he was very, very young. Like he was like really, really playing well when he was very, very, very young, right? And so now you see like his career was very short, like much, much shorter than Ronaldo's. Ronaldo really was a serious, like starting every single game when he was like 19, 20, right? That age, like 19, 20, which is like a normal player. A normal player starts playing every game when they're like sort of 19 years, 20, going up, right? Like a normal player. But Lamine Yamal, 17, Max Daumans, they're probably going to be 16, 17 when he starts playing like regularly, right? Like Michael Owen, like Theo Walcott, like Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney was done by 29, guys. 29, he was posed, right? Posed
Right.
means like he was like, well, like, Kuponja is like a flat tire. Like he was done by like 29, right? If we're just being honest. Michael Owen was done by like 28, 27, right?
Yeah.
And so for me it's like Lamine Yamal, I think he'll go the same way because he's playing way too many games, way too young, right? He's a regular at 17. So I don't see him going past 31, 32. Because Lionel Messi, by 32, he was done. Like he was done playing like he left Barcelona when he was 32 when he left Barcelona, right? 32, right? Something along those lines. Yeah, look at look, Lewandowski's like 36 and he's still playing for Barcelona, right? And it just shows you the difference between the two sort of like Messi played every game all the time, was rarely injured, right? And so for me, like once he left Barcelona, he started Messi. I didn't take him seriously anymore, right? Because he was playing sort of like he did what he wanted. He didn't train like a normal person. He came to training when he felt like it. He defended when he felt like it. He played when he felt like it. Even for Argentina, when they won the World Cup, yes, he was a bit old, but if you look at how he as an individual performed, he just did whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted to do it. He wasn't. The coach basically said, "We're playing with 10 men." Right? And then Messi is like the cream on top. He does whatever he wants. And if you look at what he does in Miami, he literally tells the coach, "Okay, I'm practicing whenever." He doesn't do anything he wants, doesn't want to do. So for me, you can't tell me that he's serious.
Game, I don't know which team they're playing. This guy scored a hat trick, right? These guys, Inter Miami, Messi's team, I think they lost 3-2, right? This guy scored a hat trick, right? Messi only scored one goal and assisted one goal, man. And he got man of the match. Where's the guy? The guy who scored a hat trick and won the game.
I mean, the thing is, he is the reason why people are taking it seriously. Like Beckham was maybe the first iteration, but even Beckham didn't have the star power that Messi has. And now Messi is attracting probably the Lewandowski's, probably the Casemiro's, probably these guys are all going to be coming to the MLS to make it a better league.
At what age?
Regardless of they're not being competitive, but what it's doing is for the American brand, for the American league, you are leveling up your players because you have 17, 18-year-old boys playing with the Messis, playing with Busquets, playing with Jordi Alba. I mean, you have these young kids learning from real players. Now, they probably will reach the limit. If you're 18, 19, 20s playing in the MLS, you're probably not going to get drastically better. But it's the guys in your youth teams that are like, okay, this is the training or whatever. So in a generation or half a generation, let's say, the payoff would be better for the MLS. Will it ever be anywhere near the Portuguese league, anywhere near the French league, anywhere near the British league? Not in our lifetime. I just don't see that happening because they're not going to invest enough in it. There's not going to be enough money in it. Basically, America chooses which sports they're going to invest in, and Bora is there. It's the kind of it's the cheap. I'll tell you this as a father now. It's the cheap sport that parents get their kids into because they don't want to buy them lots of equipment. So the football kids, they'll buy, buy helmets, buy this. Baseball, you have to buy the gloves, the this, it. Bora, you buy them a pair of shoes and a ball, and you go. Which is true in the whole world. The difference is they don't really see it here as like a career. They see it more so as like, let me get my kid into a sport where they can go, they can run around, they can get tired for a bit. They sleep well. Ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but going back to the like sort of like what you're saying about taking it seriously. Right? So for me, I don't agree necessarily with what you're saying. I think if it's because if you listen to the professional players, right, they tell you like what really helps a player develop is actual training, like what you do in training. Now, if Messi is not showing up in training, then what does that help the local players, right? If they're not training with Messi, or even if they are training with Messi, but he's not giving it his best, right? He's being half-hearted about it. So there's an exception to that, which is Ronaldo, right? Ronaldo still to this very day works as hard as he did when he was 17. He's like a machine, right? LeBron will be like that because LeBron is still a machine, like the way he performs. So LeBron and sort of like LeBron and Ronaldo are like literally the same sportsman, right? I would say like they're even like on GOAT status, like they're not the GOAT, but then like when I look at them, they're there because of they're a natural talent, but it's hard work. Like they work harder than anybody. Like there's a thing I saw a documentary where LeBron puts literally $1 million into his body before the season begins, right? $1 million every season that you invest into his body. So LeBron is like on it. Ronaldo, the same thing with Ronaldo. He's like on it in terms of like his diet, how he sleeps, how he trains. He's all about football. His family knows it. His girlfriend knows. Everybody knows. Look, this guy is geared towards just being the best, like physically, what he eats, what people around him eat, how he thinks, how he's so focused on Bora and stuff like that. That's like his everything, right? And so if Ronaldo comes to your club, for sure the youngsters benefit from it because they see how he conducts himself, they see how he trains, they see what it's like in the gym. Messi doesn't go in the gym. He doesn't. If you see Messi's restaurant where he goes and eats all the time, he eats whatever he wants, bro. Right? Like he's not disciplined anymore. He's not like because and he's earned it, right? He's earned it because of Barcelona. He definitely was in the gym taking hormones. All the kind of stuff. He was a fitness junkie, right? Because he had to be because of his skill and how much he was tackled so roughly and stuff. He had to be super fit, right? Otherwise, he wouldn't have had a career, right? So that Messi would have been dope in MLS now. But the Messi now or the Luis Suarez is fat, bro. He's fat.
Yeah.
Have you seen him? Luis Suarez is fat,
I saw the
bro.
game live. He's okay. He's in a decent shape.
Yeah,
He's not the old
belly,
Luis
bro.
Suarez, but he's
got a belly, bro. And he yeah,
Or Luke Shaw,
bro.
or
Luke Shaw,
Ronaldo, R9.
Nah, R9, bro. No. So for me, nah. I think the way America would change, right? Because I don't think America should aim for England or something. They should be aiming for the Dutch. If I'm America, I'd be like, I'm looking at the Dutch league. I'm looking at the French league. Take PSG out of it. Look at the French league. Look at the Dutch league, right? And I would mimic. They need to go into the hood, bro, right? Into the Latina hoods or the black neighborhoods, right? And they need to go into those guys, the poor areas. Because one thing that is shown, look at Brazil, like Bora is played by people that
you hit your mic off or something.
Yeah, America as the population, if you think about it, that if they actually do invest and like do like what the Dutch league and the German league does, where they get the youngsters at like 5, 6, and then they get them to train like the touches, first touch, how to pass, the technique of passing, how to shoot, the technique of shooting, scanning the field, looking around and seeing. America will produce.
Yes,
just look at Brazil. Look at Brazil, man. Brazil is an example of if a population is solely focused on one sport. How many people they produce?
Difference. That is a key difference there. America won't be but like the Dutch or the French, and definitely not like Brazil because everything is watered down. There's too spread out. There are too many holes in the bucket, right? For Brazil, there's one hole. For, unless you call like beach volleyball, which they dominate, but it's like you're playing border, right? In Brazil,
Yeah.
you're making out of favelas, you're playing border,
Brazil.
right?
You're making
Um,
water out of plastic balls and whatnot. That's what
which
you
we used to do, but we had you
Sugar
get your A
balls.
levels, get your O levels. Yeah, you go
do.
border, my favela. If you're in the favelas, border is the only way out, right? Holland, they don't have any other competing sports, right? Field hockey, right? Like, I mean, like they're not competing really. So the boys are going to be playing what? Border. The French, they have rugby, but that's usually for the white boys. So all the Africans and the blacks and the Middle Easterns, what are they doing? They're playing border. So that's what I'm saying. It's like these places, in many ways, are geared for more success than America has because America is competing. NBA,
Yeah, but it
NFL.
takes. But I think it takes a visionary person. So for instance, if I had a billion or $1 trillion, if I'm Elon Musk, for instance, right? And I'm not so concerned on going to the moon or whatever it is, or going to Mars, yeah, which is going to Mars and all that kind of stuff, right? That's what I would do. I would, if I'm in Texas, for instance, or LA or whatever, right? I go into, Compton and all these other hoods, and I don't know. I'm just naming the hoods that I know off TV, right? But I'm going to
Yeah.
the hoods, the poor areas, right? The poor areas, right? And then I would invest in there, build like academies and stuff like that. So I'd get like, yeah, you go to door, guys. This is a place where your kids can get off the streets, where they can actually pick up a sport. They can learn to kick a ball. They come first thing before school. They come straight after school, right? We provide like lunch and supper and stuff like that, right? And then we bus them back to where they are, and so you give them videos and stuff. They can
But
watch
here,
stuff. They can do stuff, right? And then like you train them, like what they do in England and Europe and all of the places. They train from the age of like 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old. So by the time they hit like the puberty and stuff when they're growing, they've already got the technique down, right? They got a technique down and they got the diet
yeah.
down and the technique down and discipline, right? And that's why you get like all the best players are from Europe and Brazil and those places because they start playing when they're very, very, very young. And that's why you get like technique. Like for instance, you get someone like Juan Mata or Bernardo Silva who have got no physical ability whatsoever, like zero physical ability. They're not quick, they're not tall, they're not big, they're not strong, and yet they're technically so gifted, right? And they can have wonderful careers because of the way they're agile and the technique, the way they move off the ball, their football intelligence, right? And that's you can't pick that up at 17, my friend. You can't do it, right? I think there's only one player that I know ever who started playing football at like 17, 18 and became a star, and that his name is Didier Drogba. Only, right? He's the only guy, right? And he was physically gifted, by the way, big and strong
Yeah.
and quick, good in the air, right? And he's the only one I know who started playing ball at like 16, 17 and actually became, did something. Otherwise, everyone else starts when they
But
look.
here's the
David
thing.
Beckham
So
was 6 years old when he was going to academies, with the West Ham Academy when he was six.
here's the thing about America. They've also had the issue. So in the 70s, even so in Pasadena, where I am, Jackie Robinson is a famous baseball player, right?
Mhm.
He was like the best baseball player in the league, 60s, I want to say. I don't know, but like a while
Mhm.
ago. And there was a lot of black uh, when integration started happening for baseball. There was a lot of black um, players in the MLB. So in the 70s, in the 80s, there were a lot more black players because that was an outlet for these people, right? An outlet for these people in the communities to be like, hey guys, go out there, let's go and like, you know, get out of the hood, go and play baseball, become a baseball player. You know, what I mean, there's Hank Aaron is another famous baseball player that played for the Braves. You know, so it was big, right? It was a black sport for a long time. You know, one of the other ones that people came into, and then money started going elsewhere, right? Money started going to other sports, or it started going away. Now there are very few, and there's lots of arguments, lots of not arguments, but discussions like what happened to the black baseball player, you know? And the thing is, the it's just that the money's gone elsewhere, you know. Also, the Latinos, the Southern Americans from Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, again, places where they don't have options, right? They're not playing NBA, some one or two made, but they're not going to the NBA, they're not playing the NFL, so they don't have those options. So they focus on baseball. So just like you're saying, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, these guys are out there in the fields in Panama, in Venezuela, you know what I mean, in the DR, catching these balls with folded cardboard, catching the gloves, you know, that's their gloves or whatever, you know, balls tied up, all these kind of things. So for them, again, it's hunger. When you don't have options, it focuses your energy, right? And I think America, it's proved in baseball, where money was invested more so into basketball and NFL, right? And the inner city and the poor places started going that way because it was like, we can invest in these things. So I think if you had all the money in the world, sure, you could start it and you can grow it. And, you know, it's like live golf. You would invest in it at a loss for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you know, maybe a decade before you start seeing dividends. But the reality is that, like, it's financially based. And from what I've seen being in the country, and also having grown up in a place like Zimbabwe where you have limited options. We didn't have dreams of being. I didn't really think I could be an NBA player or NFL, whatever. You know, it was pretty limited. You were a soccer player. We had cricket, yeah, right? You and I, Zimbabwe, we had cricket dreams. You know what I mean? Rugby to an extent, but you had to be the right kind of person. And we have friends who've played at the biggest levels, right? You know, but far more limited options than, like, you know, and also, like, the money scale is different, right? For us, it was real dreams. For these people, it's like, yeah, get your kid in an NBA program at the age of 5 or 6, you'll be in the NBA. There's zero guarantee that happens. If you're lucky, you get to college, you play the Final Four. Now they have the NIL where these players get paid. These college players get paid, sponsored, right? They get payments, and that actually sets them up. But only the elite ones get that kind of money. You know what I mean? So again, it's like, it's setting these kids up, because now they're going to be like, well, why would you play border when you could at least play basketball? And even if you don't make the league, you can get 1 or 2 or 3 mil being sponsored by Geico, being sponsored by Nike for a year or two, rather than go and play border where you may or may not make it here, but Europe, and you're competing against. So I think it's a hard sell. I do think that, yes, with the right core group, I think you need a group of young men meeting at the right time. You know what I mean? An era of, like, this.
A meeting of minds.
Yeah, the meeting of minds across the country. They have a tournament, and then the whole country follows those people as they rise. But it's so
Kuroko no basket. or Brurok.
Brurok. Yeah, Brurok. I'm waiting for the next season, boys. Brurok. Huh?
Yo,
No spoilers. Yo, spoilers. I'm just starting it.
Bro.
Jonathan has been trying to get me on it, because I've never liked the border anime, because I think, like, sports anime in general, right? Besides, I mean, Kuroko no Basket, it just, like, it destroyed, like, it was so beautiful. And then I went to IQ.
That one. That one I don't know. What is it?
Kuroko no Basket. It's about basketball.
No, but they exaggerate. I mean, like, Japanese, although, like, to give them props, man, Japanese can animate sports to make it so exciting. I mean, like, volleyball. What's that? IQ, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, they make volleyball look so dope. Like, a guy who sits without even looking, and the guy comes and spikes it, like, and they do, like, a replay, and they make it seem like the guy's smashing, and then, like, all the ball ripples backward, and, like, I mean, the Japanese really do sports anime really.
I need to see some, because for me, Blue Lock is probably it's the only one I really finished and followed through. That one to me is hard to beat. Jonah, you may know more. Is there something better?
No.
You need to watch basket. You need to watch Kuroko no Basket. You also need to watch Hajime no Ippo.
Hajime no Ippo.
They make. I mean, if boxing was like that,
I'm writing it down.
If boxing was like that, people would die.
I'm signing up to my Crunchyroll.
Like Hajime no Ippo, man. Like the boxing, bro. Yo, the boxing is crazy, bro. Like the special moves, like they make the boxing moves like so crazy, man. Like, honestly, like, if boxing was like that in real life, people would die in that. Because the blows that these guys are getting.
You, bro, they're gonna think of the Demshiro.
Okay, wait.
Hajime no Ippo.
It's like bobbing and weaving, man.
Hajime no
Ippo.
Ippo. IPPO.
IPPO.
3 words.
Hajimena. I can see
Hajime.
Haiku.
Yeah, IQ.
How do I spell Hajime?
Hajime.
Anyway, I'll find it
It's-
later on. We'll take. This is partly an
Yeah.
anime thing.
Yes. So here's the thing, right? About Kuroko no Basket, you must definitely watch it. That for me, that is the best sports anime that I've watched ever. I mean, it's sick. It's got a guy who doesn't miss threes, bro. Like he's like
the guy just threes from anywhere, man.
he doesn't miss from anywhere. He doesn't miss. He doesn't miss. He scores threes from anywhere, right? And then like
you need to start
one of the guys.
You need to start his phone without a ball. And then the guy passes the ball, and then he just catches the mid-action, bro. And he chucks the three, bro. From anywhere, anywhere on the court, bro. Anywhere, bro. That's
So
crazy.
you know what happens, but like because he doesn't miss a three, right? They figure out, look, we can't stop him because he's not gonna miss the three, right? So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to stop the ball getting to him or like block it when he's on his way up, right? So they start marking the ball when he's on his way up to shoot. So then the other team figure out like, okay, cool, we can't do that, right? So what they do is he starts his shooting form. So they pass him the ball while he's shooting the ball. Like this. So the ball comes and then he just finishes it off. And he's still jumping in, bro.
A guy is jumping in the air, bro. A guy is jumping in the air.
It's sick.
And then the ball is passed into his hands.
It's sick. There's a guy with like a vanishing pass. With like a vanishing pass, bro. Like, it's sick. It's like ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
So what are they making the cricket? What are they making a cricket anime?
I don't think there's a cricket one.
They made a golf one, bro. The one with the kid who's
There's a golf one.
Oh,
there's a golf one.
For me, Blue Lock is dope. Blue Lock is like you know, Bora. I mean, the characters and how they kind of grow, and like it's also a bit of scanning. You know, there's tactics involved. You're like, okay,
yeah. The reason why I never liked anime, like sports anime, especially football, like Bora, like sports animes, because it's unrealistic. Look, I know it's a bit stupid for me to say it's unrealistic, but the amount of time in which, like, because you know when it's running right with the ball, the amount of time like they run with the ball, it's like 2 hours. There's no football match where like you have 1 second where you can run with the ball once without getting tackled, right? But you know, like running with the ball, like kicking the ball and then be running. And so I was like, I never really liked, like, you know, there used to be like hurricanes, na 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 na, here to stay. Like that. I never used to like any of those animes. I never liked any of those animes.
I used to come back from school, bro, like hurricanes, and then the beast wars, the beast transformers. ZBC, man.
If people don't know, I don't know. If people don't know, man, there's a whole. Now I'm 41, and my wife's like, "Why do you watch anime?" I'm like, "I don't know. Back in the home, man, we used to watch these things. It's in your blood, man. You start watching these things. Man, you know, you're watching Blue Rock season 2, waiting for season 3. Like, when is it coming?"
Dude, I used to love Voltron. Was like the thing for me, bro. Voltron, bro. I wish they would make a proper movie. Netflix tried to make like a Voltron one. It just was not good, bro. It was just great.
So I know we're going off topic. What are the non-sports animes you guys are watching or worth watching?
Right now I'm sort of like I was watching Blue Lock. I was watching Bugo Stray Dogs, which is pretty cool.
Are you like? I mean, are you starting out with anime or are you like?
No. I've been into it for a while.
Okay, I watched Attack on Titan.
Oh yeah, that was one of the OG ones. One that I don't know if you guys have watched is Solo Leveling. Have you guys watched Solo Leveling?
Yeah. I'm
the manga, read the light novel. Yeah.
I read the light novels first. I was an OG. Okay. I'm an OG fan. I read the light novels years ago. Like years. I even forgot about it. Right? Yeah. And then you see after comes with me, hey, Solo Leveling. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about, bro? I've been reading that stuff like back in the day, bro. Right? Back in the day. So Solo Leveling is cool. It's a good popcorny sort of
it's fun. You know, I like the what's the Shinjin, you know, when it's a group, what is it? Is that the term? Yeah, when it's a group, it's always like a team of people, right? Fire Force is a good one. I've been literally Jujutsu Kaisen. I've been watching that one.
I'm trying to get into it.
It took me a while to get into it after the first couple of episodes, but that one it's got my attention for a
I'm
while, and
struggling.
then you kind of fall off.
I'm struggling
Kind
at
of
the
fall
moment
off.
to watch it.
For me, Doctor
I like
Stone.
that
You need
one.
to
You
watch,
guys
you
watch
need to watch
Doctor Stone?
Naruto.
Naruto,
It's a
I'm
classic.
sure. I'm on.
Bleach.
I'm on. Bleach. I tried. I couldn't get into it.
The
After
thing
this,
about
we watch-
Bleach was like from back in the day when things used to build up. So you need to like watch a couple episodes in.
Mhm.
How many episodes of
When
Bleach
things
have you
start
watched?
unraveling, that's when it starts getting like really good.
How many episodes of Bleach have you watched?
For me, I watched like two, maybe three, and I was like, I couldn't get into it. And
No,
this was
no,
after
no.
Naruto.
Bleach
This
is
is
got the
after I watched
worst
Naruto.
beginning ever.
It's so slow.
Like Bleach, the first 17. No. One Piece is worse. One Piece is worse. One
Piece
Piece
is
is
entertaining.
it's worse.
We're
Like
coming
you
back
have to watch
sports,
like
guys. Sorry, guys, we're coming back to sports. Trust us.
no, like the Bleach only starts getting exciting after 17 episodes, right? When Abarai range comes, because what happened to Bleach, right? Abarai range, right? The first thing about Bleach, right, was I watched the first 5 episodes, right, and
Yeah.
I was bored out of my head because Quentin gave me Bleach. I was so bored. I was like, what am I watching? That's like
Bleach, bro. You didn't even reach Byakuya, bro.
I was just watching. I watched the first 5 episodes, right?
Byakuya is one kind. Sebun Zakura, Kageyoshi. That one has got the ultimate aura, bro. That guy's aura is unchanged. People don't talk about it, bro. But Byakuya's aura is like there, bro, like levels.
Yeah. No, he's sick. So I watched the first 5 episodes of Bleach, right? And then I got bored and I put it away. For a whole year, I didn't watch it again. And then the first movie came out. And then I saw this thing called Bankai. I was like, what the hell is this, bro? Because then I watched Bankai. The guy drops his sword, bro. Goes to the ground. You're like, what is Bankai, bro? What's this stuff? And I'm watching like captains with the white robes and stuff. Like, who are these people, bro? Because when you watch the first episodes of Bleach, right, it's just like school kids. You're missing out so much. Like honestly, like just Fari, watch the first 17 episodes.
Okay.
Just put it away.
Get back to sports, but if I need to watch something first, do I continue with Bleach or do I watch the basketball? What is it called?
Both.
One or the other, guys. I'm a father.
Bleach. Watch Bleach. Watch
for
Bleach.
the basketball.
Yeah. Bleach is better.
But you need commit.
Bleach is dope. Look, it was the big 3 for a reason. Bleach, Naruto, One Piece. The big 3, they dominated for a long time for a reason, right? They're sick. Look, Bleach up until the Soul Society arc finishes.
Is it better than Naruto?
No.
Okay, because Naruto, the whole world building and the whole, I think I was like, now I'm like Toby, like the whole metamorphosis. I'm on like, I'm at that point. And I'm like,
are you Shippuden? Or are you still
I'm in Shippuden. No, I watched all. I'm in Shippuden now, so I'm like.
Naruto should have ended.
Naruto spoilers. Spoilers. But like Naruto gives you hype for this guy is literally just raised up to be like a sacrifice, and then the worst.
I mean, Shippuden kind of it started getting into some other stuff, and I'm like, the twist at the end.
Don't watch the fillers. Don't watch the fillers.
I've stopped watching the fillers ages ago. Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to sports. Let's get back to sports.
No, just the last thing, right? The last thing is like
we should have a separate
Naruto
podcast of anime. Of like, we should watch.
It's okay.
Together.
But they watch it for us. They watch it for us, bro.
Anime guys.
They watch it for us. There's loads of anime sports cars. Those guys are much more like. They'll tell you what underwear Naruto bought in the 76th episode, Brian. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. No, Naruto. Look, my favorite anime of all time is Bleach, but I just like it. That's my favorite one. But I have to say, like, you have to watch So Society arc, brilliant, and then the 1,000-year blood arc, brilliant. Everything else in between.
Demon Hunter.
But Naruto is better. Demon Slayer.
Yo. That one is
magnifico.
It is crazy, bro. That one is crazy.
The next one to come out, I'm like, when is this coming out? Do I need to go to the movie theater? Like,
dude. Yo, Bro.
Yeah.
The Infinity
Anyway,
Castle
so-
arc. Anyway,
So
back to sports.
talking about demon hunters. So
What is the tangent? Breathe, Simba, breathe.
Dude,
Breathe.
You know,
so as you know, but I've been getting so much flack, right? Because even people are unsubscribing because of my stance on Michael Carrick. So look, Michael Carrick is now the manager. There's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do about it. He's going to be the manager going forward. So Jonathan, man, what do you think? What's the first couple of things that you would do? Name one or two things that maybe just name the first thing that you would do in order to like support this guy. Like, because obviously we're gonna have to support him now. We have to wish him the best. I promise, guys, I'm not gonna release any more Never Carrick videos. Maybe after this week, because I've got a couple lined up already. But after this week, it will just be positive stuff. Because look, it's done. Now we can do about it. My dream of Julian Nagelsmann is gone out the window.
Question
Nothing I can do about it.
before Jonathan replies, Simba.
Yeah.
Maybe if the food is spoiled, you throw it out. My episode, maybe if this, I'm just saying, if the meal is off,
No, but you also get ulcers if you keep stuff that isn't. You have to let it out.
All right.
You have to let it out. Because I've got some good points. But some good points. I think I've got one more video. Right, coming out, which talks about why he didn't play the youngsters, right? And that sort of like indicates.
So there's one thing. There's one thing that before I let Jonathan speak, there's one thing that my uncle lives in Holland, and I went to visit, and he had this bar that he used to go to, an African bar in The Hague. He lived in The Hague. So I went to this bar, and he DJ. He'd go behind my uncle's business. He's like, "Young man, go ahead and do your thing." So I started playing my piano, and the vibe was like, okay. And the owner came to me. He's like, "Hey man, you have a good sound, but this is one thing you need to know. You may like what you're playing, but your key is responding to the audience, like the real people who matter. You may think your playlist is on fire and one after the other is hitting and it's gonna hit. And he was like, look at your audience. They're checking out. Like that's who you play for. That's who you DJ for. A real DJ plays for the audience. Side note. Anyway, Jonah, after you, sir.
Yeah, but I ain't no DJ, bro.
What are we doing? We're DJs. Come on now.
I ain't no DJ, bro.
I want to
do what I want.
No. But like I want to look at it in another way. Maybe it's like a doctor, right? Like you have bitter medicine, right? You know that it'll be bitter and people won't like it, but you know it's good for the patient, So Carrick, I mean, I hoped it wasn't so, but I guess it's now looking like, oh my God, I can't believe these guys. I honestly can't believe rational thinking human beings could actually watch what we both watched, what all three of us watched, and think, yeah, that's what I want. How how can you? What possible reason can they be like, yo, this is the person we want. This is the person who will get us, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is quite obvious that the results are only going through because one of circumstance, right? One of the new manager bounce, and it's quite clearly just a repeat of Oli. So I don't know, man. Like, I'm honestly disappointed in the board because, like, I had faith in Omar Barada Kuti. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was coming from Man City. He knows how to build a team. All these things. You can tell Radcliffe Kuti, what you guys are thinking is crazy. Carrick is not the guy who will win us the league.
That brings some positivity to this guy, bro.
No. But Radcliffe was like, I don't know if it was Radcliffe or if it was Barada who said we're still on track to win the league or challenge for the league in 2028. And I'm like, what are you smoking? Yeah. Sorry for asking, but I'm like, what are you smoking, man? How can you honestly with your chest go in front of people and lie to them? Like, because you're lying. You're lying, bro. You're lying. How can you go and say, I got Carrick and I'm going to be challenging for the league in 2028? Ask any person on the street if they're being honest with you, and you say, could Carrick be challenging for the title in 2028?
So there's this thing, I had to look it up. There's this thing called social pressure. This is the dictionary, the definition from Better Health. Better Help, not Better Help. Social pressure is the psychological and cultural influence exerted by society or peers to make an individual think, act, or conform to specific norms.
Preach, brother.
This thing that affects other people when it comes to social media is affecting these people that you think are good people for Manchester United in the higher office. They are giving into. We used to have a term for it in Peter House. I don't know if it's GP. I want to explain what it is.
Basically, what
GP.
I won't go into details.
I forgot about that, bro. I forgot about that.
GP was basically you're pressured to, I don't know, send someone flowers or buy someone chocolate. Yeah, but it's
not peer pressure. It's
a different kind
literally
of pressure.
Guza's pressure, right? Guza's pressure. Guza's being a derogatory term for women, right? So like saying like chicks or something. So basically what happens is as a lighty, go baba in South Africa, right? So what would happen is like, you know, like you're under pressure from the lady to perform certain acts, like buy flowers when you're broke or something like that. You know, like Guza's pressure. That's what he's saying.
So that was a real thing.
Wow, I'd forgotten about GP, bro.
I had not. I remember one of our good friends was very susceptible to that. We won't mention him, but he'd be buying chocolates every week. No names mentioned, right? Susceptible, you know. Some of us
he got worse in uni.
We're not mentioning names. Anyway, this was not something that was bottled up in a high school experience. It's the real world. And now the social pressure, or SP, let's call it SP, is hitting Manchester United hard because you have a choice as a fan and also as someone in power to focus on one of two things. You can focus on results or you can focus on performance.
But can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If you were in the Manchester United board, would you appoint Carrick?
I don't give in to GP, but my vote wouldn't count. I don't.
No, but I'm saying like if you were in charge, would you appoint Carrick you yourself?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm intelligent enough to know. I'm intelligent enough to know that I wouldn't want to, but I might be under pressure to do that call. Because here's the thing, he doesn't do this. Let's say they don't appoint him. Let's just put it out there. They don't appoint him, right? And they say, no, we're going into the off season looking for somebody.
Oh, they just appoint another person now.
Who's gonna come and start yelling? Yeah, but who's gonna come and start yelling? All the former players, the current players, these people who are watching the performances, everybody starts complaining. You guys are messing up our team for the first time in forever. We've been doing well. They're giving into social pressure. That's clearly what's happening. And the result will be the result.
GP. Faria, you taking me places, bro. Guza's pressure. GP was real, though. GP was real.
It's real today. Look at your club. Your club is suffering from the modern version of
No, but you're absolutely correct, right? I mean, I did a video about 2 weeks ago where Adam McCullough is one of the biggest Manchester United fans, right? And he was on a show called the Overlap, which is Gary Neville's IP, right? His show. It's like the what he does for YouTube, sort of like IP, right? And it was Gary Neville and Jimmy Carragher on the couch, and they were it was Gary Neville and Paul Scholes, two Manchester United legends, and they were on the couch, right? And then they were asked, like the question came up, who's going to be the next manager? And the Manchester United fan said, "Is it even a question?" He was like, "It's obvious." Right, and he's one of the most level-headed fans. Like, I agree with that guy almost always. Right, when I watch his videos and stuff like that, I agree with him almost always. But on this question, he was like, "It's like a no-brainer." Right,
social pressure.
And so, I was so confused by that. So then I watched a lot of his other videos, like what's his reasoning? Because Gary Neville, for once, I'm always almost against Gary Neville, but for once in his life, I was really supporting Gary Neville in his stance, right? But then I listened to Adam McCullough's reasoning, and his reasoning was the same reasoning that I was arguing with fans on the internet about. Number one, nobody's ever done this before, and you're like, dude, do you have amnesia? It literally happened, like exactly the same thing happened 2 or 3 years ago, right? I mean, I'm not going to go, into the whole minutia. I've done it. I've done like 20 videos on this topic, right? But the same old reasons. He doesn't have a preseason. He just wants to win. Blah blah blah. The same stuff they're saying about Carrick. So like, there's this. I think what's happening is, like, you're right. The British fans, the Manchester fans, want Carrick, and that is just it. That's it, bro. And then there are hundreds of millions of other fans outside of England that want Carrick, right? Because whenever I release a video or I comment on any other person's video, right, what I get is I get the two views. Some people are like, dude, you're the only one who's like making sense. And actually, in media on YouTube, it's only me and Mark Goldbridge. Mark Goldbridge, who's got the biggest Manchester United fan club. Like, he's got millions of subscribers. He's got the biggest Manchester United fan channel on earth, right? He's the only one. Him, right? Mark Goldbridge and myself, and even the people that work for him, because he's got other people on his channel, right? They're pro Carrick as well. They are against. He's the only one on his own channel that has the same opinion that we share. Yeah, and so it's an unpopular opinion. I would say it's about 60-40, right, in the sort of like Manchester United, the thing. But the people around the ownership, but you're completely correct. The people around the ownership are all pro Carrick, all of them. So you're right that if they don't have enough balls, but the same situation again happened with Everton, with Duncan Ferguson, right? Everton were about to get relegated, and then Duncan Ferguson came in for about 17 games or something like that, or like 12 games, something like that, and he won all of them. And Everton, for the life of me, Everton looked like they were going to go down, bro. They were going down. The stadium, the city was begging for this guy to be the manager. But then the owner said, guys, this guy's got zero management experience. Zero. Right? He's a club legend, and that's why he left the players. He simplified things, blah, blah, blah. And then that time, it wasn't about how you play football. It was all about, just guys, we need to fight because we're in a relegation battle. And he was able to rally them. The players had no excuse, right? So they fought tooth and nail, and they won, and they beat relegation. And all the momentum, guess who they appointed? Marco Silva, right? And he was a brilliant guy. I mean, they were like 1 point above. I think they finished 5th that season, right? Yeah. And so the board, the grown-ups in the room said, look, we could do the nostalgia route, like what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did, right? Or we can actually use our brains and say, look, Marco Silva, he's actually, managed Porto, one of the highly rated young managers on the planet right now. He had managed Wolves and done very well with Wolves, right? Done very well with Watford, right? And so he had a good CV behind him, experience, I think he had been to the Europa League final, things like that. So he had actually achieved things in football. Let's appoint this guy. He makes sense. Duncan Ferguson only managed 10 games ever in his entire career. How can we make him the permanent manager for a club worth hundreds of millions of dollars? You know what I'm saying? Hashtag just saying. So anyway, Jonathan, take two, bro. What are the positive things that we can, like, what can we actually, we now know that we don't like Carrick, but he is now the manager. Now, what do we do? Like, what can success look like for him, and how can it be? What are the things that Manchester United as a board need to do, right, to guarantee or to make sure that he succeeds?
I'll do two things, right? I would appoint assistant managers or coaches around him who know, who have Premier League experience, who have winning experience, not just Premier League experience, who will be around him, who will make decisions that he can't make. So, for instance, they will probably adjust tactics at halftime and all these things, which will not win us Premier League, but at least will keep us maybe competitive in the top 6, top 4, right? But you need someone who can be like, okay, I want to play this type of football. They're playing a back 3, so I need to have fast wingers who will pin up the wing backs and direct pressure, or I need to put in an extra midfielder, all these things, right? So I'll put a staff around him that will help him in
So a tactically astute assistant.
Yeah. The second thing I'll do is back him, right? So back him financially. I would allow him to pick the players that he wants or the type of player that he wants, and look for those players and try and see if his type of football will or the type of players that he wants will actually succeed. So you don't want to give him any excuse, especially if you're going to go down this GP route. You don't want to have any excuse. You don't want to be like, Carrick didn't succeed because you didn't have the players that he wanted or all these things, you didn't have support. Because like even up to now, Ollie is coming out and saying, guys, I could have done the job. But, I was giving players although we know, Ollie, even if he was given the players he wants, Ollie would probably win 100%. So, unfortunately, I see, although you're saying a positive note, I see us waiting another 2 to 3 years on this person. But
so here's my proposal. If you are a hashtag never Carrick person, would you not want him to not get support and not get another backing manager, so his real colors? Because if he gets these things and they go 4th place or 5th place or 3rd, they stay in the Champions League, they get into the quarterfinals, does that not keep him there for longer? Or would you want to expose him early so you can get someone in there after the World Cup?
No.
Would you not want like Nagelsmann maybe go to the quarterfinals, whatever, he's ready for another club? Would you want him to be Carrick to be exposed so that you can get a real manager in there?
No, I want him to succeed, right? Look. Here's the thing, right? I'm not. I don't hate Carrick, and I want him to succeed, right? I love Manchester United. I want Manchester United to do well, and if Carrick is the guy who I would prefer, like once the decision is, look, before the decision was made, I was never Carrick. After the decision is made, I want to support Carrick because I want Manchester United to succeed, right? And so I am in the same camp as Jonathan and any other player. Like I want him to get the players that he wants. I want him to get an experienced assistant and all these things because I want him to succeed, right? I want him to succeed. Mkwasha, how's it going? As we need to be patient with him as much as it's painful to to be to put in your bridesmaid. This is Augustine Mkwasha. Look, so I want him to succeed, right? I want him to be successful. That's what I actually want. I'm not one of these people like, no, let's burn the whole thing down until things get done my way. Look, I was literally having a discussion with my brother on another topic, right? We're talking about, actually talking about Christianity, right? And how, like, not to make it too deep, but how the people fight each other because I don't do things the way that you want me to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like sort of like anti you because you're not doing the things exactly the way I want you to be done, right? And so I'm not gonna follow the same boat as that. Just because they're not doing things the way that I want them to be done doesn't mean now I'm gonna be like I withdraw my support completely. No, I still support Manchester United. I want Carrick to do well. In fact, it would be really wonderful if he did well because he's an old guy, he's a legend. He's a very, very nice person. He's a good guy, quality guy. As I said, he would be a guy that I want to marry my daughter. He is a genuinely good man. Genuinely good man. There's no one who says anything bad about the guy, right? My only objection against him is his football qualifications, but as a manager, right? But I want him to succeed. So I definitely want him to get the money and do this. But unfortunately for his side, the club is broke, right? The club is actually broke, right? So he's not going to get the money that I think which he would need to sort of revamp the squad to be in the image that he would like it to be. So he's going to get a very, very limited budget, right? And unfortunately, because he's so inexperienced and he doesn't have that presence, right? The board are going to be comfortable to treat him the same way that the previous board treated Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, right? And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's right. He didn't want Cristiano Ronaldo to come back to the club. And it was a dumb decision to bring Ronaldo back to the club. Why? Because if you look at the way that Manchester United was playing under Solskjaer, it was very much a counter-attacking football team, right? And Ronaldo at 37, he's not quick enough. He didn't have the legs, right, to play the system that Carrick wanted to play. He wanted to sign Haaland, right? But the club said no because Haaland wanted a transfer clause. So he wanted like a release clause in his contract, and we don't do that at Manchester United, right? But so the club wouldn't budge, and so we missed out on Haaland, right? And Solskjaer was like, guys, this is stupid. We could have gotten Haaland, right? And so yes, he missed out. Van de Beek, like we all said last time, he didn't want Van de Beek at all, but the club just bought him, right? And etc. 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 But Solskjaer was so weak in terms of his personality and his presence, right? That the previous board could do what they wanted to do. He wanted to keep Ander Herrera. Ander Herrera was just shutting out the club, right? Same thing with Michael Carrick. I'm telling you right now that he will have no say. He will come out in press and say, yes, I have a say, I could do it. But I'm telling you right now that it will not be him, right? It will be, I think it's Vitex, right? I think is the guys in charge of things. Yeah, and then Wilcox and ultimately Barada. Those are the guys that are going to be signing the players coming in the summer. It's got nothing to do with Carrick. Carrick would just be like, I kind of like these kind of players, and that'll be it, right? But if it's like a Nagelsmann or a Luis Enrique, you have demanded that I want this player. I want this player. So, for instance, right now, Luis Enrique has come out and said that I want Julian Alvarez, right, at PSG. And so, because obviously the PSG don't play with a striker. And if you look at Julian Alvarez, his profile, he would be perfect for PSG, the way they play football, right? And he's more of a finisher than Ousmane Dembele. So you imagine all the chances they create. Imagine with an actual finisher. I mean, PSG could be scary if they actually get Julian Alvarez. But look at the whole club is behind him now to try to get that player, right? They're offering different packages, different players. They try to do things to move heaven and earth and get this player for the manager, right? That didn't come from the sport, it came from the manager. And so if you've got a Luis Enrique and Alex Ferguson, Nagelsmann, someone with a bit of gravitas and pressure, you can tell the club, I want this player, I don't want this player. I want this player, I don't want this player. And it happens for him, right? And so unfortunately, Jonathan, I don't think that he's going to get the money. That's number one. Number two, also, I think he's going to be faithful to his coaching staff. He's very happy with Steve Holland and Jonathan Woodgate, right? And I think he's going to stick with them. And unfortunately, I don't think he's going to add to that backroom staff. Because in his head and in the head of the English, what he's done so far has worked, right? And so why would he change what has worked?
I've got a question for Jonah. Simba and I spoke, 2-3 days ago. We're having a big argument or discussion about managers and ambitious managers, and wanting which job. And from what Simba's talking about, managers, you mentioned Luis Enrique, you mentioned Nagelsmann, guys Xavi, who come in, they'll demand certain kinds of players. They'll demand, things from to an Amorim tried to demand, but like, again, ambitious kind of, right? So I was of the opinion that if you're an ambitious coach, you're not going to necessarily want to go to Manchester United because basically they're not going to support you, and there's too high. There's the trying to get to the level of Sir Alex is just insurmountable. It's just too much pressure. And Simba was like, no, you want to come to Manchester United. You want to beat Sir Alex Ferguson. What's your point of view on if you're an aspiring bold, and obviously I know you're a Manchester United fan, but in terms of like an ambitious manager coming in, like, are you looking at the Manchester United job saying, I'm going to be the top of this, I'm going to beat thing, or are you going to go to another club? Somebody used the example of Klopp going to Liverpool and basically going there and being like, yeah, I'm going to be the name synonymous with Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp is going to be a name, because they had a 20-year drought, you know what I mean? But Klopp is like, I'm going to be that guy, and he's always going to be known as one of the best managers that Liverpool's ever had, obviously because they won a title. So which would be more attractive, coming to Manchester United with all this history behind it, or finding another club and putting it on the map?
Well, like I was watching, I would say that the Manchester United job is probably the most difficult job in all of football, right? So like I know I was watching ESPN FC and all these other talk shows and pundits and all that. And I have to agree, like the Manchester United job is the most difficult job, right? But I would also say that the Manchester United job is probably the most simple job, right? You just need a coach who will go in there, right? And just do what, like, not say do exactly what Ferguson did, but have what Ferguson had. So you need to go in there and be like, okay, guys, this job we need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And it's going to be painful at first. We're gonna probably lose. Probably gonna come 15. Like look at, like I'll just say, look at Amram, right? He came in right when he didn't want to, but he came in and he did the job and he finished 15th, right? The summer when he was there, he gets in Cunha, he gets in Buemo, he gets in Sheshko, and the players that he wanted to get in, right?
Sunny Lemons.
Because he identified a problem, right? He got out Rashid, he got out Sancho, he got out all these players
Canacho.
that weren't working for Manchester United. But because we are Manchester United, we don't, or not say we, but the board doesn't like to be told, what you guys did was wrong, or what you guys are doing is wrong. Right? You don't want to be told, you don't want to be told that what you guys are thinking and what you guys are planning is blazed. It's crazy. Because it doesn't work because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? So the fact that Manchester United is the most difficult job is not because it is an actual difficult job. It's because of the people you're dealing with. Right? If I was a manager like Nagelsmann or Enrique, I would only get the Manchester United job because I know that if I succeed at Manchester United, I will automatically be the greatest manager ever. Automatically because of the structure of the club. But I would only do that with assurances, right? That 1, I get the backing, right? 2, I get to get the backing in terms of transfers. 2, I get to remove whoever I want to remove, right? Right? And 3, I also get the backing of the board publicly, right? One thing that Amram didn't get. So when Amram was facing fire from the
Gary Neville, Roy Keane,
from the Prince,
Wayne
Gary
Rooney,
Neville, these guys, right? The board never came out like what they did for Slot. The board never came out and said, "This is our guy. No matter what you guys say, he's going to be there." Because if the board came out and said, "Amram is our guy. We're gonna put. He's changing the things. Whatever he's gonna do, right? We are 100% behind him." When a guy never there was after puffed. But it wouldn't have gone anywhere, right? Just like what Carrick is saying about Slot or whoever is saying whatever, but nothing is going forward because we know Slot is going to be there, right? One, what that does is it tells the players, if you guys don't perform, I'm going to get rid of you. Like what he did for
you guys were going, not the manager. You guys are going,
yeah. So you end up changing the environment in the club, right? So basically, what Manchester United need is a change in the culture of the club. They need the backing of the board in many factors, right? And then the coach needs time because it's not an overnight fix because the rot has been there ever since Ferguson left. The rot has been there, it's been festering, and it's just, they need the medicine, right? They need the medicine to get the cure. It's not going to be good. And that's why I think they fired Ragnick because Ragnick literally told them, to do what they're doing now. Get rid of this person, get rid of this, get rid of this person, do this, do that. Which they're doing now. But because they didn't want to be told what to do because they had pride, right? They fired the guy. They got rid of him. They found a guy who would tell them what they want to hear. Right? They got Ten Hag who said this team finished, literally when he came in this first day, like this team finished second last year or 2 seasons ago. I don't see a reason why they can't challenge for the Premier League. And they got rid of Ragnick. And then he ended up finding out why Ragnick was saying what he was saying. Yeah, it's sabotaged. Because they're like, yo, dude, we don't like you. I mean, Ronaldo coming saying, who's this guy? Who is he? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Ten Hag shot himself in the foot, man.
Yeah,
because he had a chance. He had a chance, right, to change things.
Yeah, because of what he said, right? He didn't leave himself room for mistakes. So he made a mistake with Anthony. He signed Anthony for 100 million, right? So people were expecting him to do something, and Anthony flopped, right? Because Ten Hag is not Guardiola, he's not allowed $100 million flops. You know what I'm saying? They just ended up signing players that they wanted because they'll be like, because Ten Hag will be like, I don't want this player, but they'll be like, you look what you did, you got Anthony for 100 million, wasted money. So what are you telling us? You know what I'm saying? So
Ten Hag shot himself in the foot, right? He did, because like what happened is Ragnick, because after Solskjaer left, right, Ragnick came in as an interim manager, right, and Ragnick said, look, we need to get rid of Ronaldo, we need to get rid of Casemiro, we need to get rid of all these guys. What's his name? The Real Madrid defender who came, Rafael Varane. We need to get rid of all this. We need to get rid of Martial. We need to get rid of Rashford. We need to get rid of all of these, Sancho. We need to get rid of all of these guys, right? Get rid of them, right? And then buy young, start building up young, invest in youth, bring in a new culture, right? And then, because the deal was when Ragnick came on that Ragnick would be an interim manager and then he would go and be the director of football, like what Jason Wilcox is doing now. And he said in the beginning, I would never have accepted the job as interim manager, right, if I didn't know that I was going to be the director of football afterwards. Because being interim manager does nothing for me, right? That's what he said. It does nothing for my career. It does nothing for me, right? And guess what happened? Ten Hag comes in, right? Ragnick tells them to go get Ten Hag, right? Because he was a good young manager, right? And then he comes in, and then what does he say? He says, look, this team under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with no coaching, right? And he was right about that. Under no coaching, this team finished at second or third with no coaching. So if I come in and I coach them a little bit, imagine what wonders they could do. Right, and that was his mentality because he had a big ego, right? Coming from Ajax and having done so well with Ajax, going to the semi-final of the Champions League with such a young team, blah 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 blah, right? And so that was his first mistake. And so Ragnick was like, really? Okay, I'm out, right? So then he bounced, right? Coached Austria, whatever. He says, look, I'll leave you guys to your own thing, right? And then so now he was left with, driving the car by himself, right? And the first mistake he did was he insisted on Anthony. Ajax said no. Man United said no. But he said, no, I want Anthony. That's what that was. He demanded Anthony. And so we had to pay twice the amount of money for Anthony that he was actually worth because Ajax did not want to sell. So now Anthony, who's like a 40 million pound player, comes with a $100 million tag. And so he was always going to be a flop. Just like Harry Maguire is a 40 million pound defender, but he's bought for 80 million pounds, right? And so, yeah. No, look. I think Kuti. I want Carrick to succeed, and I think I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna switch off that part of my brain that enjoys watching football, and just watch what we're gonna be watching, right? And then I'm gonna support him. I want him to have the proper transfers because I think realistically he's not gonna change his coaching staff, and I think realistically he's gonna be able to address one part of his team going forward. And I think that part is going to have to be midfield, right? Because I don't think, because Casemiro is going, he's leaving at the end of the season, right? So I think that the focus should be on a number 6. We're talking so much about a number 8, Anderson, Tonali, Bruno Grimaldi, right? Who else? All these players, right? Beleba, right? And like Faisal was saying the other day, we should be focusing on the Adam Wattons of this world, on the João Gomez, on the Mateus Fernandes, right? Vital from RB Leipzig, right? I think those type of players that are going to sit back and defend that back 4. I think we need 2 of those, right? Because we don't even have 1 right now. And when Casemiro wasn't adequate, by the way, for that position anyway, but he was doing his best and he was a good player. So I think we should forget about the goals that Casemiro gives us. I think the other 4, should be scoring those. And I think we need to concentrate. That's the most vital part of the pitch. And I think without that, there'll be 0 success next season. So if we can get a Casado type player, an Adam Wharton type player, what Miles Skelly is doing right now for Arsenal, Gravenberch, what he's supposed to do for Liverpool, or what Lindelof is doing right now for Aston Villa. We need someone in that position. That is the most vital position that we need right now, right? If we get someone there, then on top of that, then you can buy a Beleba or a Anderson or a Tonali, whomever, to supplement Kobe Manu, right? To be like, so that you can partner up with Kobe Manu, or Kobe Manu can sit on the bench there. And then Bruno Fernandes can then swap with Mason Mount because Mason Mount ain't going anywhere. I know Professor, you think he might, but he ain't going nowhere because you can't sell him because he's like
Loan. You loan him out.
yeah, he's gonna be in the club. So Mason Mount, Cunha can play there. So can Ahmad play there. So can Joshua Zexia play there. Or hopefully Joshua will leave as well. So I think he's gonna have 2 or 3 midfielders coming in. That's where I think his focus is gonna be, and that's why I think that he can have an almost successful season next season, which I think would be to stay in the Champions League next season. If we finish third or fourth, I think that'll be a good season for Michael Carrick, which I think he can do.
Okay.
I think he can do that.
So now we're talking about Carrick, who is, he's got a challenge ahead of him, but like Jonah was saying, if they give him some money, they do stuff, there's hope. Let's go to Spain.
Okay.
And talk about the other appointed manager.
Jose.
Yeah.
Special one.
Jonathan, make sense of this for us, because now Real Madrid is getting their Portuguese former bride to come and take care of the house again. Explain this to us.
I honestly, it might be against popular thought, but I think it's an inspired choice. I think you want to bring in Jose, right? Because he brings you 2 things, right? He brings you discipline and he brings you wins, right?
Discipline.
2 things that Real Madrid are really in need of right now, because they need someone who will like take charge of the back room, of the locker room, right? Who will say, if you don't do my thing my way, you're not gonna play. And I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Mbappe. I don't care if you're Vinicius. I don't care if you're Rodrigo, Bellingham, whoever. If you don't play the way that I want to play, because we've seen him do it before, he's played attacking players, Robin and whatnot, as defensive players. And if you don't play it, then you're not going to play for me. I'll find someone who will do it for you. Because I'm at Real Madrid, I can buy whoever I want. I can attract whoever I want to come and play for the team, right? And his style of play will guarantee you wins. I mean, you have to do something to answer what Barcelona are doing right now. You don't want to give Barcelona another dominant era, right? With the coach was Hans Flick, I think. But like you don't allow Barcelona to have another dominant period. So Real Madrid are in a situation where they have to answer the Barcelona question. And they have to do it quickly before they build up steam and build up a team that will last generations. So I think as a temporary measure, maybe for 1 or 2 seasons, whilst you're waiting for a good manager to be available, I think Mourinho is an inspired decision.
Okay. So I was looking at his stats since leaving sort of like leaving Real Madrid, right? So at Real Madrid, he was there 2010 to 2013. He had a 71.9% win rate. Okay, and then he got 100 points when he won his league title. He also had a Copa del Rey as well, right? And that was a record at that time. It was a record at that time, right? So obviously he had a great time at Real Madrid. He did a very good job at Real Madrid, right? But that time they were going for La Decima. They were looking for La Decima, which is like the number 10, because they had 9 Champions League victories, right? And so they were looking for their 10th. That was really the focus of Real Madrid at that time, and also to break sort of the Guardiola stranglehold. Because actually, for him to win a league title when Guardiola was at his pomp with Messi and the likes, it's a fantastic achievement. Really is a fantastic achievement. So he did very, very well at Real Madrid. So Jonathan, you might be right that he had sort of the Midas touch. But when he went to Chelsea for the second time, right, his win record went down to 58%, right? At Manchester United, 58%. At Tottenham, 51%. At Roma, 49%. At Fenerbahce, 60%. And then now, right, at Benfica, it's 65%, right? So, he's pretty much gone downhill since he left Real Madrid, right? Right now,
look at the teams where you're doing the 50% and the 40%. I mean, the coaching staff, I mean, the boardroom, in shambles. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're hiring Mourinho, if you're hiring Mourinho, you need to give him charge. That's how he'll give you results. So I don't think that Mourinho is finished. I don't think that he's finished. I think if you hire Mourinho and you ask him to do a job for you, he will tell you exactly what he needs. And when he tells you exactly what he needs and you provide it for him, he will get you what you want. So Mourinho is like a mercenary. He will talk. I mean, like he's just a person who's like, I want to win the La Liga. He will say, okay, this is what I need. I need this person. I need this person. I need this person. I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this. It might not look attractive. It might not be the best football we'll play, but he will get you the La Liga.
Yeah, yeah. But Mourinho is the only one to, I think he's one of the only managers to win all 3 European trophies, right? He's won the Conference League with Roma. He's won the Europa League with Porto and Manchester United. And then he's won the Champions League with Inter Milan, right? And Porto, right? So, yeah, I think he's one of the only people to have won all three leagues. But Jonathan, sort of like to counter you there, I just think that when I look at Vinicius Jr. and I look at Mbappe and I look at some of the other players, right? They're not the hard-working type of players, right? They're just not, right? Ceballos, them type of players. They're not the ones that I want to run around and defend and do all the things that he would want to do, right? That he's looking to do, right? So for me, I can see him clashing, especially with Mbappe and Vinicius Jr., right? I can see him clashing there. And really, if you look at where they're looking to buy, I mean, they're looking to get Haaland, they're looking to get Bernardo Silva, apparently, or Rodri and people like that. So I just don't see how he's going to be able to manage sort of the Real Madrid dressing room, especially when you look at Xabi Alonso, right? Xabi Alonso, why did he leave Real Madrid? He left Real Madrid because they wouldn't listen to his disciplinary actions. He wanted to play a back three. He wanted to be very defensively sound. You know, Xabi Alonso is a tactician. That's how he builds his teams, right? On sound tactics, fitness, defensive acumen, and then you go forward from there and attack through the wing backs, right? And that's what he was looking to do. So for in Xabi Alonso's teams, everybody defends. And I think that you can expect the same thing from Jose Mourinho, right? Everybody defends in his teams, right? They really do. And so, yes, and also you have to remember also like the Real Madrid of his time in 2010 to when was it there? 2010 to 2013, right? They literally had the money of the world. They could buy whomever they wanted to buy, right? And so they had super squads: Ronaldo, Bale, Benzema, Kroos, Modric, Casemiro in his pomp, right? And so they had a great team under him, right? And so the Real Madrid now they don't have that. They don't have that money.
I think that when he comes, he's gonna have to sell one of the two. Either Vinicius goes or Mbappe goes. And unfortunately, Vinicius. And by selling Vinicius, he'll get a huge sum and he'll get the players that he wants. Because, like, if you look at how he played with Ronaldo, I think Mourinho team, he can set up with one player who's not defending, right? The rest of the people can defend, but he can play with one person who's not defending, as long as that person is scoring. And Mbappe has showed that. I mean, he scored what 47 goals, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he scored a lot of
goals. So if Mbappe is your guy, right? You're like, okay, Mbappe, I know you're not going to be the one who's defending, but you can come and help out when you want. You can afford one person. You can't afford two, which Real Madrid have right now with Vinicius. So I foresee Vinicius going as soon as Mourinho comes. And that's what probably get like 100 million, 100 million, plus the money that he already has in stock. And then if he sells Chomeni, or if Mourinho comes, probably won't sell Chomeni, probably Valverde will go. And you got all these players who will go and they'll have a big budget to get in the players that he wants. So I don't think it's a problem that he has. I think as soon as he comes, one of the two is going to go. And Mbappe came out, I think, recently and he was saying to guys, I'm not leaving Real Madrid. I'm not doing it. He said a lot of people want to talk and whatnot. And he literally said, I'm not leaving Real Madrid.
So
and I think Vinicius
is Mourinho the same? Is Mourinho what Carrick is for Manchester United? Placeholder? I mean, because Manchester United believe Carrick is going to be the next big thing. Is it clear that Mourinho is a placeholder, or are they trying to rekindle the dynasty with him more than?
I think.
Go for it, John.
I think Mourinho is a temporary, like a temporary fix. A temporary is temporary. I don't think you can build a season with Mourinho. And I think like if you see how he plays when he goes to different clubs, he lasts almost like 3 years, like average 3 years. Because I think his coaching style is a bit extreme, right? So you can only have it doesn't have longevity. You can only do it like for 3 years, 4 years, 2 year period, right? But in those 2 years, I think Real Madrid just wanna win something, satisfy the fans, get a mercenary who will win you something, and then whilst they're waiting for a good manager to be available, and then bring him in, and then build on that person. So I don't think Mourinho coming in, and I think you'll see with this contract, it won't be a long contract. Then you're told by the contract length that what they think of Mourinho. I think he's just like I said, a mercenary, someone who will just do a job for you because right now there isn't anyone who's available who wants the Real Madrid job. Unlike Carrick, where the board seem to think that he might be the Sir Alex Ferguson who will be there for years and years and years and decades and whatnot. I don't think the Real Madrid board are like really that delusional to think that Mourinho is a decade, 10-year coach or something. I think he's there. You give him the money, you give him the support, you'll get the job done for you.
Yeah, but I think that Florentino Perez, right, who is the sort of chairman of the president, the El Comandante of Real Madrid, I think he's thinking Ancelotti. That's what he's thinking, right? He's thinking, look, when we were under Ancelotti, things were going quite dreamy, right? They were quite good. Ancelotti knows what to do. He's a good statesman. He knows, he's not gonna rock the boat, and the players respect him. And they had a good time under Ancelotti. They really did have a good time under Ancelotti. So I think he's thinking about the same thing. And when they tried to do the young manager route, with Xabi Alonso, it didn't really work out. So maybe he's thinking that Jose Mourinho can be like the Ancelotti like type transitional manager, right? So I think that's his thought process. And also, him and Jose Mourinho have got a very, very good relationship as well. And so I think he knows that they can they can communicate very well. I think you're right that that Mourinho tends to last like 3 years or so at the club. I think also because it's a manager that the Real Madrid fans can swallow a little bit, right? Because the argument is look what he did when he was here before. Look what he did when he was here before, right? And so that can be sort of the argument that they can have for Jose Mourinho, right? For Jose Mourinho. So I don't think that they're going to be. They're thinking otherwise. However, Carrick, I think they do believe Carrick is going to be like the permanent sort of like like what Jonathan was saying, like Jose Mourinho sort of like so I'm just looking up Michael Carrick's contract because his contract is pretty interesting, right? The one that's reported that they reported that he's right. They're saying that like saying Kuti he's gonna be a 2-year contract, right? With a 12-month extension, right? And so and then the contract is also going to have only a 2-year contract, right? So that shows you that they don't really believe. They really like they're sort of saying to us that this is an experiment. You can't give a manager a 2-year contract, buddy. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
I mean, Rosinho got six. Anyway. Rosinho got six.
Yeah?
Rosinho got
6-year contract.
I thought he did. I thought he got like or 3, at least something like that. But it was more than 2.
It was 3 years. You have to give a guy a 3-year contract. I mean, the whole 2-year contract thing you mean. Because what you're saying to the players is that you guys are in power, right? And but do you think about Vinny, right? Campbell's. Where are they gonna sell Vinny to?
This is what you said the other day.
Arsenal.
100%. They don't have any wingers.
They'll buy Vinny.
They don't have any wingers.
He doesn't defend.
Yeah, but they don't have any wingers.
Do you think Arteta will buy a player that doesn't defend?
Yeah.
Mr. Kone FC.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You 100% you go to Arsenal. 100%.
Chelsea maybe.
No, that's Xavi. He's going to go to Xavi. Xavi will be there. He's not going to Chelsea.
Yeah, you're right. Xavi Alonso's there. He's not going to go there. You're right.
Yeah.
Tottenham maybe. Liverpool definitely.
Liverpool they've got more.
I
Confirm
would
Gomoa.
love for him to go to.
You can't go to
I would love him. I would
him.
love for him to go to Liverpool.
Well, I mean,
Please let
Salah
him
is
go to
going.
Liverpool.
So can Gomoa play on the right? Can Rio play on the right? And then you put Vini on the left.
I've seen Gomoa playing on the right before, but his best position is obviously on the left.
Because
Right?
he's a lot like he's a Rafinha. He's like the flip of Rafinha, right? He goes,
yeah.
you know, he always cuts in onto his stronger right
On
foot.
his right.
You know what I mean? He reminds me a lot of Rafinha when he was at Leeds. Deadly.
Yeah, he had a good game today. Actually, that's one of the only Liverpool
I know,
fans that played that
hit the post
so many times.
So
many times he beat his defender, right? So many times
Gomoa, aka Rio.
And it was quite funny. The commentators didn't call him Rio once.
No, they didn't. I was listening. Like, Gomoa.
Not one time. And I was laughing like, how funny he's listening.
I was like,
Ingamawa, like this Gomoa. But he was brilliant. He was really good today. I really like the player. I mean, I hate Liverpool, but I really like that player. Right? You see, I'm an open-minded player.
Well, they also have a Zimbabwean player, right? They have a Zimbabwean player.
What, that Nyoni guy?
Nyoni.
Is he Zimbabwean?
Youngin. Yeah. Nyoni.
Is he?
Nyoni. Yeah. His parents are Zimbabwe. Yeah. Nyoni.
Yeah, he is the Trey.
Yeah.
Nyoni, eh?
He's Zimbabwean.
Trey. Well, his name is Trey.
His parents are Zimbabwean. I think he grew up in England, but you know, he's
It says Nyoni is eligible to play for England. The country of his birth was Zimbabwe through his parents. He's not coming back to it. The fact that his name is Trey, he's not going to play for Zimbabwe, bro.
Come on. We had a Fabish who played for Zimbabwe. Come on now.
He was born here.
No, he was born in Kenya. He chose to go play for his mother's team.
Yeah, but he's like isn't his mother Zimbabwean?
Yes, Fabish's mother is Zimbabwean.
Yeah, but like his dad loves Zimbabwe. Like Zimbabwe is like the sport, bro.
He literally was born in Kenya, and he said to honor his Kwan and also his dad, you know, the legacy he went back.
Dad loves Zimbabwe.
Yeah, I mean, it makes
his
sense.
His dad, right, worked for free. That's how much for Renat Fabish loves Zimbabwe. It was for free.
So
the only reason he left was because they weren't playing the players.
I don't think Nyoni would come back for Zim football. Maybe if he was a cricketer, maybe he would come back.
But he's come back for Zim football because he's not going to make the English team. Let's be real.
Mbappe scored 41 goals. 41 goals, by the way.
Nyoni's not making
15 in the Champions League. 15 in the Champions League. I think that Real Madrid fans, you see, this is what I think Real Madrid does. Like you said, Fari said that the Manchester United job is the difficult. No, the Madrid job is the most difficult, man. The guy's got 15 Champions League goals and they're booing him. 30 million people want him to leave the club. I'm saying 15 Champions League. Mate, Real Madrid is just classic. You know, like my neighbor Carrick videos, right? One of the comments, right, was saying that Carrick, you know, made you guys finish third, blah 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 blah. You know, and one of the comments I said was that Real Madrid finished second, and they're firing their interim coach. And it's not even a question. It's not even a debate. They finished second, bro, in La Liga. Second.
But here's the difference.
And they've had a terrible season.
But here's the difference about
what a club with standards. Standards.
It's a club that's focusing on performance over performance over results. Manchester United has been in a phase of results. Right? Results are saying results. Hey, Ten Hag did this or whatever. You need to get back to the performance base. Like they're not performing to our standard, they're out. That's why Real is going to stay Real, and Manchester United has to get back to that. You know what I mean? Because if you're performing, if you're chasing results, Carrick looks good. He looks good. He's winning.
So next season, right? I think next season, right? What are your expectations for your team, bro? For Leeds United.
So Leeds United, I fervently think Leeds United will be middle of the table. I think we need to go out and get center backs. We need to get wingers. We need to get some attacking strength, some center backs. And then probably bolster up one more attacking midfielder. You know, I love a Warden type, you know, someone who's creative midfielder. We needed an attacking midfielder. But, and this is probably going to be controversial, I think we will be, I think the Manchester United, Leeds United matches may
Yeah.
be in our favor next year because you're keeping Carrick. Because that's the one, if I'm looking at this from a Leeds fan, it's a positive thing that you guys are keeping Carrick because I see us competing far more than you if you had a different coach. I see us actually being rival, like proper rivals, where you guys should be leaps and bounds ahead of us, and it would be a thing where it's like, are Leeds United going to beat Manchester United again? Is it going to be a thing where Carrick's number is always being called up by Leeds, and it's potentially going to happen because you guys have Carrick? But
Yeah,
no, in all honesty,
look.
I see us right now. We're above Crystal Palace
Let's
on the
stick to
table.
Leeds, bro. Let's stick to Leeds.
I see
Stop
us.
dissing Man United.
I'm not. I'm talking about performances based on this year and psychological thing. I think we are going to be close to each other more so than you guys would want in next
In the
year's.
table.
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be good. What do you think of the Hinchwood, rumors?
I hate to disagree, or I hate to agree with Fadi. But like, I think if Tottenham have taught us anything, is that if you choose the wrong manager, if you just like, we have one bad season, especially how competitive the Premier League is becoming, you could see yourself, fighting for relegation. You know what I'm saying? Like, the unthinkable can happen.
I don't think that's gonna happen. Man United.
With
I
Carrick.
don't think it's gonna happen. Man United. No, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Mm.
Anyway, we're going back again. We're going back again to Man United. Faisal, what do you think of Hinchwood? The Hinchwood rumors.
I'm late to those. What a one? What one?
Well, Hinchwood, the guy was at Brighton. They're attacking me for Brighton.
To go
Number
away.
10 at Brighton, basically. Come to you guys.
Oh, I you to come to the house. I love that. I'd love. So this is what we need. So there's been talk of like I was watching the Wolves team when we were playing Wolves. I was watching Wolves because I think a Gomes would be a pretty clutch. Here's the thing.
I love Gomez as well.
Leeds is cheap, right? It's owned by the 49ers now, right? It's the 49ers that have majority share. They are doing it like they're doing, like Americans are doing it. They want to get in there. They don't have a lot of money, so they want to get in at a good investment. So for us, we're either going to get a deal within the league, but if it's someone who's being challenged for, we're not really going to compete. So if Wharton was on the table, someone would outbid us. So for us, we're either getting players that are getting relegated. So we're looking at West Ham players if they're going down, Tottenham players if they're going down. Most likely West Ham at this point, unfortunately. We're looking at Wolves to see what they have. Then we're looking at the Championship to see who we could bring up. Or we're looking at Europe. Some of our best players this year have come from Germany, right? Stach and Tanaka. So I wouldn't be surprised if we actually get people from abroad. There's talk of a central defender from, I think he's in a Dutch league, a center back that we're looking at.
And then
So I
this
see us investing.
Can you see him?
Yeah, Openda. Yeah.
You guys are being.
I saw him when they played because he was playing the US. He looks good. I think for us, if we can get an attacking midfielder and at least one more winger, right? Then we really start becoming seriously competitive across the league. Like that really changes because defensively we're okay. We're vulnerable in certain places, but we're okay. Midfield, we had a good solid in terms of Ampadu. Ampadu is the engine of our team. He's the defensive core, right? He's there, the last line of defense. He is our Caicedo. He's our, he is just the motor, right? So him there. Then you get him. Stach was a good one. Then you get an attacking or creative midfielder. So a Tonali would be great, or someone who has, for me, a Gomes would be really nice.
Tonali would be too expensive for you guys. Right?
Fernandes would be good. Yeah, Fernandes would be good for West Ham. Going down.
How much money do you guys think we'll have? How much money do you think you have?
I mean, I don't know. Budget-wise, I don't know. I just know that what we've gone in the past, the biggest issue for us when we were coming up, we saw Sunderland outspend us, right? Sunderland spent money. They got more people in, right, than we did. And we struggled. Even halfway to the thing, we only got in January window, we only got Facundo. Facundo, I forget what his name is, from Chelsea via Brighton, and he's been on our bench the whole time, right? This Argentinian kid. We're not going to spend a lot of money, so we need to find deals. And the best deals we're going to find are the ones, people who are getting relegated or people from Europe.
Google is saying that you guys will have 100.
Personally, I think if we could get Openda, oh, I can't hear you. If we could get Openda,
Google is saying that you guys will have 100 million.
Simba, I don't hear you. I think your mic.
Oh, you can't hear me. Okay.
If we can get Openda and we can get another, if we're getting 3 players, we're gonna get a centre back, a winger, and possibly another striker or an attacking midfielder.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
I don't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Jonah, do you hear me? Yeah, I can't hear you.
Jonah, can you hear me?
I can hear both of you.
Oh, you can hear both of us.
Simba. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me exit. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Okay. Jonah, you can hear me, right?
Sorry, stand by.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So Google is saying that Leeds can possibly get 100 million. 100 million. 100 gajillion million pounds. So Jonathan, you actually think we're going to get relegated next season? $1 million. I bet you guys are going to get $100 million.
$100 million.
Fari, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Also
Fari,
pounds.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
So apparently, according to Google, you guys are going to get 100 million pounds.
Really?
According to Google. Yeah. I just clicked how much money says Leeds United is expected to have a transfer budget of up to 100 million pounds available, backed by owners 49ers Enterprise, as long as they balance their spending within Premier League financial rules.
So that means that's 320 million.
But as you guys owe about 60 million pounds though.
Is what I'm saying. We're not
in bonuses, in relegation survival bonuses.
Yeah.
You guys owe 60 million. 62
That's what I'm saying.
pounds.
We can only get
60 million.
We're looking at
62 million.
20 million pound players. 2, 4, 6. If we can get 3 players in the 20,
What about John
20,
Stones? You guys also linked to John Stones as well. So if I'm literally looking up, I'm doing the research.
No.
It's
So
great.
here's the thing. John Stones is a Yorkshire guy, right? He's from Yorkshire. He's like he's from the north. So
From the north.
that is attractive in the sense of he can go close to home, but the thing is, is he a starter? You know what I mean? Like, does he really upgrade us?
That's a good question.
I think for us, if he's healthy, he probably starts most of the games for sure. But like, I don't know if we're building on the future. That's a deal for us. So if he wants to go north and we can get him at a good price, I can see us doing that. If he wants to stay in England and stay in the Premier League and get starting time, I can see him coming to Leeds and being a starter. And that might save us from having to spend money on a centre back, or a midfielder, because he can kind of play midfield too. So he can kind of be 2 for 1. I could see John Stones coming. There was a defender called Doketa or something that we were looking at, a centre back, who we were hot on. But the problem is, we get hot on these. We'll come in with like 6 or 7 names, and then the season starts and we'll get one of them. So,
don't you guys want Sancho?
We don't want Sancho. Who wants? Why
not?
Sancho?
Why not?
I don't know.
What's the difference between Sancho and Vinicius, guys? If you're on a free,
I don't. Sancho.
If you're on a free.
We'll take back Somerville. Thank you very much. Send it.
If I was Leeds, I'd get Mason Greenwood.
Yeah, it's impossible.
If he was allowed to come back to England, maybe.
He was named. He was named in the final. He was named in the final England squad.
He's not coming back
for the World Cup.
Is he? No.
Yeah.
Really?
Google it right now.
No.
I'm telling you.
He's in the English squad.
If I was Leeds, I would get Mason Greenwood now, and it would be the coup, because you guys will get an excellent striker. Even though whatever he's got his things going on, you guys will get someone who will score you 20, 25 goals in the season, 30 goals even.
Here's the thing. I don't see us getting him because you have to be a club that's willing to take all the slack, the flack that you're going to get from the whole press or whatever. I mean, here's the thing. He's a quality player. And the team that does it is going to reap
Ours
rewards
is
if he's
fake.
playing like he was.
It's fake.
Yeah, it had
It's
to be
fake.
fake, man. It had to be
It's
fake.
fake. It's fake.
Yes. How is it
fake.
fake? Look
It
at
has to be fake. Jonah, it has to
It's
be fake.
fake.
Come on.
It's fake.
it.
It's fake.
That
It's
was
fake. It's fake.
I
I
was
was like, that's
shocked.
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, bruh.
No, but honestly, guys,
if you're a black player,
if I was an English club right now, I'll get Mason Greenwood, because like I know that I will get a striker who's like world class, and I'll
there's
get
no
him.
chance, Jonah, you're having pipe dreams, bro.
No.
Pipe dreams, bro. If you're a black player who made a mistake, if you're a black player that's made a mistake, it's over. They never forgive you.
Was the woman? The woman was not black either.
Joey Barton,
right? The woman was not
and
black.
she was a white girl as well. I mean, look, what he did was reprehensible, guys. I will not defend what Mason Greenwood did. It was disgusting, reprehensible. Blah 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 blah. Okay, I'm not in his bedroom. I don't know the circumstances behind it, but there's no excuse for what he did. Right? There's no excuse for what he did, and it's not even in question. Because it's on video. I saw a bit, but I didn't like really focus that much. So I am not condoning his action, but people make mistakes, guys, right? Jerry Rice, in the elevator, American football, right? He was forgiven.
Yeah.
Joey Barton literally went to jail.
Yeah.
He beat a guy up. He went to jail. He came back. Nobody said anything about the story. They didn't care. He still played for Man City. No one cared, right?
Here's the thing.
There's a player who raped a girl, an underage girl, right? He was a Southampton player. He played for Sheffield, right? They were a little bit upset with him for a little bit, but afterwards, he was playing for Sheffield United, right? So the one is, if you're a black player, you make a mistake, and he did make a mistake. It was a horrible thing that he did, but you'll never be forgiven. There's no chance. There is no chance he'll play in England ever again. There's no chance he'll play for England. He's gonna play for Jamaica. He's just waiting for.
He will never play. He will never play for England. He could play in the league if he's like 37, 38, and somebody feels like he's coming back and whatever. There'll be enough time between now and then, because he's young, so he has at least 10 years where he can play somewhere else and come back. In his prime, he's only ever going to play on the European continent and not in England. Now, if he was able to be forgiven by some fluke of nature, he would be a shrewd hire. I mean, he just shows his level of form. But
honestly, if I was a team, if I was Spurs or someone who's looking for a striker, I would be like, guys, this guy was twice. He was twice the prosecuting service. Twice. No, not like once or whatever, but twice. I'll be like, guys, we're a football team. We're not. Yeah, I'll say we're a football team. We're not a court. We're not a court. We're not a political team, right? We want to play football, and he's probably one of the best strikers who's available right now in the world.
The social pressure will be too immense, because here's the thing. If your fan base, you have to include women in this, and guys are going to be like, no, we don't want this guy to be representing our team. People are getting pissed off.
De Zerbi almost didn't get the job because he coached Mason Greenwood.
Right.
De Zerbi, the club had to Tottenham had to put up a statement, right? Like explaining about De Zerbi. Because they were like, De
Zerbi did so well in Marseille because this guy was scoring 20-something goals.
They didn't care, Donna. They didn't care. Like, De Zerbi, not even, like, he wasn't part of it at all, right? And De Zerbi, all he said in the first press conference was, look, I don't care. I'm a football coach. That's all I care about. That's literally all he said, right? And I'm not going to answer any questions about it. I'm a football player. That's it. That's what he said, right?
If I was Spurs, I would get this.
Because of that, right? And now for the rest of De Zerbi's career, any club he goes to, he's going to have to explain himself on that point. Imagine. So now imagine Mason Green, the club dares. There's no chance. Zero chance. Look, who's that guy who kicked the cat? The black dude who kicked the cat. Zuma.
Oh, Zuma.
Yeah, look at him, bro. A cat. And he's done. Like, he's done for, bro. He was down. His brother was fired. He had to go on some sort of like mercy tour. he was wrong. Like kicking a cat was like what he did with it was wrong. I'm not denying he was wrong, bruh. But it's not a human being, bruh. Right? It's not a human being. It's a cat. It's an animal. But he did what was wrong. But that guy's career basically ended because of kicking a cat. Now imagine how much worse what Greenwood did. There's no chance. No chance. You can play, and Africans don't care. You can't play in South Africa. The guys that choose their standards.
He's winning in Marseille. He's gonna play for PSG.
But guys,
Saudi Arabia, they won't play Saudi Arabia.
MLS. Guys, I think I need to go.
Even America, they won't allow it, but what allow it?
I just think, Kuti, if you're a team, I'm just saying, Kuti, if you're a team and you want a striker who will score you 30 goals guaranteed in the season, no matter what league you're playing. I mean, this guy scored 20-something goals when he was 18, 19 in the Premier League, man. This guy's talented, man. He's so gifted, man. Oh my God.
His career is.
I wish that he didn't do what he did, man. I mean, right now, Manchester United would be thought of woes.
I knew you guys were dreaming about the old days. Nope, he's gone, guys. He's gone.
He's gone, Jonah.
Don't bring him up. Don't bring him up. Don't bring him up.
He's gone. He's gone.
That's how leagues go down.
I think a more pertinent question, really, right, to talk about is whether Rashford should come back to the club.
That's for you guys. Unfortunately, I have to leave because I got some bad stuff to do. But boys, pleasure catching up as always. Let's.
Can I say one thing before you leave? Before you leave, OKC baby.
never McFarlane.
I told you 4-0, bro. I like 4-0, bro. You guys doubted. I told you, but I told
never
you.
McFarlane.
You and Chance, bro. I just want to say that.
Yes. No, bro. You might talk to your good team. You must do the 4 item. I was excited about the 4 item.
I don't know if it'll be a while before I can do it, but soon we'll do it.
All right, cool.
All right, cheers, boys.
Cheers.
So let's end on the Rashford one. What do you think of Rashford coming to the club?
I don't know, man. Like Rashford is obviously he's a good player, man. Like he's a player who would better our squad. But the question is his attitude. That will be the top question for me. I think as a new manager, I might be open to giving him a chance to be like, you know what, you and Amorim is between you and Amorim, right? I want us to play the best way. I want us to have the best squad possible. I want us to play the best football possible. This is the way I want to play, you know? And I'll sit down with him or actually have a one-on-one with him and be like, this is the football I want to play. I want to be able to chase down the ball. I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that. Are you able to perform and do that? If no, then let's find you another club. And just be honest and straightforward from the beginning. You don't let any ambiguity be there, and any just lay down your cards and be like, this is what I expect from you. Tell me what you expect from me, right? And we meet in the middle. We make a sort of agreement, and then if we can agree on something, then I'm all for Rashford coming back, because although yes, there were some egregious things, they weren't really like unforgivable, like Sancho or Garnacho or something like that, you know. But I think Rashford coming back, I think it'll only better Manchester United if he's good in the locker room.
Potential. He has potential. Look, he has potential to be really, really good, right? But number one, I just think he'll be snobbish because, like you said, he's won La Liga. You know, he was in the Champions League quarterfinals. To come to the poor ball that is Manchester United, I think he'll be like, oh, I have to like deign you with my presence. You know, so I don't think he's gonna be interested in coming to Manchester United. If he's forced to, I don't think he'll care that much. I don't think he'll be the guy who's putting that much effort into, because if you look at the amount of work rate he does at Barcelona, he works hard, he runs hard because he's desperate to prove himself at Barcelona, right? He's desperate, right? But I think if he comes to Manchester United, he'll be banging. He won't care, man. But I just think we must get rid of him. Even if we have to loan him out again, let's loan him out again. Let him finish his career at Barcelona, bro. I just don't see. I think it's in the best interest that Marcus Rashford should never see Old Trafford again, bro. Never. I think that's the end of it. You know. But
that's the point of just putting your terms out in the open. Right? I mean, if he violates that, then he can go. But like I would
then
say,
you got a
like,
problem.
no,
Then you got
I would
nothing.
say yes. I understand what he's done at Barcelona, and he might come back and be like, yo, I was playing at Barcelona, and I look where I am.
Yeah, I
Although
was
I
playing
think
Lamine Yamal. I was playing
Man
with Lamine
United
Yamal.
is
Now I'm playing
is
with Amad Diallo.
yeah,
That's exactly how
I
it's gonna
think
look.
honestly, I think Manchester United are a bigger club than Barca. I think the only bigger club than us is Real Madrid. But that's me. But anyway, um, but anyway, if I was Carrick and Rashford is coming back, I'll just say, yo, this is what I expect from you. If you can't give me this, let me know now. I don't want to discover midway or 2 games into the game,
He's
2
gonna
games
say
into the
yes, of
season.
course. He's gonna say because look, it looks like Man United are gonna dig their heels, right? They're not going. They're gonna say to Barcelona, "We want a fee." Barca don't have the money. That's why they've been posturing the whole season, trying to get him on loan again, right? They don't have the money, and they're not gonna spend the money on a 29-year-old, 30-year-old. They're not gonna buy it. They're just not gonna do it. And it makes no sense for them to spend 25 million, 30 pounds of money that they don't have on Rashford. They're just not going to do it. They'd rather play one of their
Well,
academies, Iran or wherever.
Arsenal is still available. I mean, Arsenal don't have a winger. Although I know Arsenal fans will hate on me, but Saka, I mean, this season has just showed that, Saka he's not a world class player.
Yeah,
I
I guess
mean,
it
he's a
could go
good
to
player,
Arsenal, but if he's gonna go
but
Arsenal,
I think
Arsenal
Arsenal need like 2 or 3 good wingers. I mean, Madueke is not the answer. I think Trossard is not the answer. I think Saka is not the answer. I think literally Arsenal don't have any wingers.
Rashford would
So
be
like
perfect at
Rashford
Arsenal.
is available. Why not?
Rashford would be
Or
perfect at
Sancho.
Arsenal. But they have to pay us a lot of money. I would expect 50 million pounds for that guy.
He might be our agent 49 for Arsenal.
Or like Garnacho. Garnacho at Chelsea. You'll hear the songs of Garnacho, bro. I've seen these songs about Garnacho, bro.
Oh my gosh! I honestly, Garnacho, I had salty. Like I was very salty at the beginning of the season, but like right now, I actually kind of feel sorry for him, man. Honestly,
Yeah, I hope he shines in the FA Cup final. I really do. I hope he does things. I hope he does things in the FA Cup final. I'm really, really
he
hoping
scores
he
the
does,
winner.
bro. He scores the winner or he scores a hat trick or something. That'll be beautiful. That'll be beautiful. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Anyway, on that bombshell, let us end here. Thank you guys for watching African Sports Guy. Yeah, guys, tune in. We'll probably do a watch along for the Chelsea for the final, right? We'll do a watch along for that. We'll probably do a watch along as well for the Manchester United game as well on Sunday. So just stay tuned. Put on your notification bell, please. Notification bell, please. And then, guys, let us know. We're doing a promotion, guys. Let us know who your top 3 are, your best 3 players in your club that you support. Let us know down in the comments, and we'll read it out. The next time we go live. So please let me know about that. And then notification bell, guys. Like, share, subscribe. All the good stuff. And I welcome Michael Carrick to Manchester United. Welcome Jose Mourinho, the special one, to Real Madrid, and welcome potentially Xabi Alonso to Tottenham Hotspur, guys. So have a great weekend. Good luck, Chelsea good luck, Manchester City against Manchester City, and we'll see what happens. Man, Tottenham, Chelsea again, big game coming up. So we'll see, guys. We'll see. So goodbye. This is African Sports Guy signing out. Bye, Jonah. Have a great weekend.
Come on, Man City.
African sports guy, he's on the ball.